Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our quarantine versus quantum leap session. Haven't been here in over a week, so it is awesome to be with you guys. I'm back here again. Normally, this happens on a Monday, but this Monday, it was a very special day because it was my birthday. So I want to firstly say a massive, massive, massive thank you to so many of you that not only left me messages, emails, WhatsApps, but a whole stack of you also created a montage video of giving me lots of love and lots of gratitude. So thank you so much. It was probably the best present I've ever got because it was something that you guys had to go out and do and put a bit of effort in. And of course, massive thank you to Lindsay who put that all together. So I definitely got spoiled on Monday. So thank you so much, guys. I don't know if you've seen my cake, but holy moly, that was an impressive dynamite cake, and we still have about half of it going in the freezer. So thank you so much for that. And we're back tonight. I hope you're either out enjoying the lovely sunshine in your back garden. Maybe you've got a barbecue lit. I don't know. But for the next kind of half hour, I'm going to talk to you about this book. Okay, this is U Squared by Price Pritchett. This is a book that I've been studying here in this group with individuals every Monday. It was just changed this week, but we're back again to pick up on episode 5, which is Quit Trying Harder. Now, before I get into that, we have loads of new people that have joined the group. So I want to firstly say hello. My name's Kim. I'm a high performance mentor. This is my company, Dynamite Lifestyle, and this is the best place that you could possibly be in when you're going through this lockdown period. And of course, whether you're in lockdown or whether you're not, this is a community of like-minded people, but I'm really helping you start to think, adapt, change, create incredible abundance in your life. For some of you who went through the science of getting rich with me there at the weekend, wow, what an amazing couple of days. And the best parts for me was hanging out with you guys. I sat on Zoom for nearly 8 hours a day, and so did you guys. And we were talking and we couldn't stop talking. I think Saturday night we were talking till about 11:30, and it was really deep, it was really personal, and it was incredible. So whether you've taken part in any of our programs, you're in the best place that has the best energy. Give me some hearts if you think I'm correct in that. I want to see the love in this group tonight. So as we kind of get started, if you do have your U Squared book, you might want to go and grab it. If you don't have a copy, you can get it on Amazon. It's called U Squared. Really, this little book is a high velocity formula of multiplying your personal effectiveness and quantum leaps. All right, so a quantum leap is when you experience a huge spike of growth, and usually a quantum leap happens and you only realize retrospect. Okay, you only realize looking back. A lot of people, and maybe you're the same, maybe you've been striving for a quantum leap, you know, a real dramatic increase in a result in any area of your life. And the key is, if you are trying to have a quantum leap, my advice would be quit trying. Okay? In fact, that's funny I should say that because it's a chapter in this book. And the reason I say that is because often people think, and I get it, but a lot of people think, and I used to for a long time, I must do more to have more. I must try harder. I must put in more effort. And of course, the results show for all of us that doesn't work. So this little book and what we've been studying here every week is something for you to kind of think about for a week, and then we move on to the next chapter. And this is really to help you start to think outside the box, start thinking about what could be possible for you. So on this chapter on page 9, it's called Quit Trying Harder. Now it says here, quantum leaps cannot be achieved through incremental steps or through more of the same. So I want you to think about where you're at in life right now, and think about a result in your life that you want to change or you want to improve. And what you've got to ask yourself is, am I doing the same things expecting a different outcome, Or have I actually started to look at and change my perspective and start to look at the same, goal that you want, but there may be a different path? Now, I would say for nearly every single person watching this or watching the replay of this, if you're in this group, then I know you want more. I know that you're searching for something. And really what most people are searching for is freedom, is the true realization of who am I, why am I here, and how can I live the most incredible, abundant life. That is really at the heart of what everybody wants. Freedom, more choice. And, at the moment, obviously, we're still in lockdown, and you might have got locked down in that, in your own mental head. And what you want to be thinking about is it not maybe time that you start to think differently? You start to see another way to achieve your goal. Now, this is a really, really important kind of sidestep that I'm going to make here. And it's very, very simple. No one should be changing their goals. Just because there's a pandemic, just because, the economy is kind of up the left, they are actually not good reasons to change your goals. Now, I'm not saying that your road or the road that you're traveling along should change. I think that should probably change, but the goal shouldn't change. And here's a little quote that I want you to remember. You always keep your eye on the objective, and the obstacles must give way. I've always kept that really true to my heart, and I've always reminded myself of it because I've watched that unfold perfectly so many times. You should never allow outside circumstances to control your thinking. Because do you know what that means? It means you're not in control of you. It also means that your mood could fluctuate on a daily basis based on what the news says, based on what, hearsay says. I was walking, let's pause there. I walked nearly 10 miles today. That is like a quantum leap for me. But it was really funny. I was walking along a towpath, and there was pretty much nobody around me for most of the time. And then there was two wee couple, wee old man and lady, and they were walking past me. And one man said to the lady, "Oh, we'll have to keep smiling." And he just had it out of his mouth, and then he said, "But when you look at everything that's happening," and I could just see, they wanted to be all positive, and then it was like, no, we're going to go down that little conversation. And I just smiled and walked past. And it was just so much evidence of paradigms, of our conditioned habitual autopilot. And yes, the world is in a very strange predicament right now. But I certainly, in fact, my goals have grown. I've actually expanded. I multiplied my goal nearly by 12 because anything is possible. I just have to find a new way. I have to find a new path, a path of least resistance. And there's always one available. So what you want to be thinking about is, are you still keeping your eye on the objective, on the goal? Or have you been maybe slipping for maybe a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and you've kind of forgot about your goal? You're kind of like, yeah, but Kim, that doesn't matter. We'll set that aside. I need to deal with what's going on. Now, I understand that's logical, but it is not the strategy that you want to go with if you want to come out of this soaring, okay? And that is just the truth. I don't care who argues with me. I absolutely know it's the truth because it's science. If you give energy to a problem, you're going to expand the problem. If you keep the energy on the desired outcome that you want, you're going to give that energy. Now, I'm not saying you maybe know how to get there, but the more energy you give to that, the more what we call is you start to collect thoughts and you go, oh, I could maybe do this. Oh, I could maybe do that. Like, ever wonder where your thoughts come from? Okay? It's whatever you're focusing on. Again, as I was on my walk, I was looking out at the sea and I said, I wonder, is there seals here? And I'm not joking you, within a split second, I seen 5 of them. And it's one of those things where whatever you're thinking about, you attract. That's how the mind works. That's how everything in this world works. All right. And it's so exciting when you get into it. Now, if you've been watching me for a while and you've maybe taken part in some of my programs and courses, you can back me up here, because on Wednesday, every Wednesday, we do a Wednesday Wins. And I didn't get a chance to look at them. And on Wednesday night, Lindsay had to read out over 160 wins on our Thinking into Results page. So I have absolute proof that this is not slowing people down. It's only slowing the people down that don't know how to think around what is going on. Okay? So that was my digression. Now let's get back to this. It says quantum leaps cannot be achieved through incremental steps or through doing more of the same. So if you're doing more of the same, hoping for a better, bigger outcome, well, based on science, that does not even make sense. Okay? It says you've got to shift gears. You have to follow new patterns of thought and action. The rules of what works and what doesn't always change when you're trying to make a move from normal performance to being U squared. Now, what U squared means is being the best, highest version of yourself, operating on a really high level. Your health's good, your relationship's good, your income's good, you've got time to spend with a family. You know, all of those things we call results. Now, I don't know what is important to you. I think it's important to have all of those areas, bases covered. And that's what I think is a balanced lifestyle. A lot of people think balance is, you know, getting their home life and their work life correct. And that is true, but what about income? What about health? What about your spiritual awareness? Like, what about all of that stuff? So you, again, got to ask yourself, have you shifted gears, or have you potentially pulled in, put the handbrake on, and kind of just waiting? Because I've seen a lot of people do that. And that is definitely not where you want to be, okay? But you've got to shift gears. That means we've got to shift gears in our mind. We've got to start to think differently, but keep our eye on the same goal. Now, just before I go on, the next question is, do you have goals? That's like, I always call it, when I'm diagnosing entrepreneurs or individuals who want to work at a higher potential, usually the number one thing that is tripping people up is they don't have goals. They don't know what they want. And when you don't know what you want, well, then it's super easy to get caught up in the outside thing. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become obsessed with daily trivia. Like, how much more time have you been spending on Facebook, on Instagram? In fact, have you ever caught yourself like just going into the app and you were literally just in it a wee while ago and you're almost bored because there's nothing new on your news feed? Like, I've caught myself doing it, so I'm going to put my hands up. And it's those wee moments where I go, whoa, I don't normally do that. I wonder why I'm doing that more. And you start to then look and go, right, where is my mind focused? My mind's not focused on my goal if I've got time to do that. Now, the trick is catching yourself on automatic. I'm very good at it because, well, that's what I do every day for others. So I can catch myself on automatic. Now, it's actually harder to catch yourself than it is others because it's your habitual behavior. That's why having a mentor is so paramount, because most of the time we can't even see the big, massive stumbling block that's in front of us, which is called you. Okay? So we've got to shift gears. And it says we've got to follow new patterns of thought and action. Now, some of you may have changed your action. I would probably say, you know, that's where most people knee-jerk action goes to. Let's do something different. Let's try this marketing campaign, or let's quickly get online, quick, go, go, go. And what I want to tell you is that's only one part of it. And it's not even the most important part of it. You've got to ask yourself, what is the energy in which you're doing that? Now, I have really zoned in on this with my clients over these last, couple of weeks and months. And that's what has helped them get huge results, because they're not frantically trying to take action out of a state of fear and reaction. They're thinking They're putting the energy and intention into the action, which creates a reaction, because that's the law of cause and effect, and brings back to them the same quality of energy. Now, if we think of this in business, a simple service model or consulting business, maybe you're trying to promote on Facebook or whatever. If you're sitting behind the computer frantically typing, or you don't even have to be frantic, maybe you're just sitting going, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, and I don't want to invest money in this, and what if it doesn't work? Like, if those are thoughts that are going through your head, you might as well be writing an ad. Hi there, please come and work with me. Although sometimes I can be a little bit frantic and a little bit worried, but I'd love to have you on board. Are you going to give that person money and trust that they're going to deliver an outcome? No. Now, the cool thing about all of this is, let's say you're the person that sees that ad. You're not seeing that ad and thinking that's where that person's at. Most of the time you can't tell. But you subconsciously do know. You have an intuition. And your intuition is the ability to pick up energy and translate it into understanding. Here's an example. Ever been on holiday, or you're picking a restaurant that you want to eat in, and you're walking up and down and you're looking in the restaurant and you're going, no. And I mean, if somebody was to stop you and go, okay, what exactly was it that you said no about? Sometimes you don't even know. You just go, no, I'm not really feeling it. Or here's a better example. When the wife or the husband or the kids or somebody says to you, what do you fancy for tea? It's like people go, what do you feel like? What do you feel like having? It's intuition. You're trying to pick up your intuition to translate it into, do you know what? I'd love a wee fish and chip, or whatever it may be, okay? That's your intuition. Now, everybody has one. And if you're in business, if you don't understand intuition and energy and all this stuff, you're leaving thousands, if not millions, on the table. Okay, this is how I help people multiply their business, multiply their results, multiply their fitness, multiply their relationships. Because this applies to everything. Like, think of relationships. Well, you can smile and you can cuddle and you can pretend everything's lovely, but if you've got little brick walls inside, the other person's going to pick up on it. It's the same everywhere. You could be in the best shape of your life. You could be wearing the most beautiful clothes and somebody gives you a compliment and inside you're going, no, that's not me. So it's the internal thinking and the energy that is really dictating the outcome. So ask yourself, have you changed action? And if you have changed your action, have you changed your energy to match it? So important. A lot of people are throwing money at all sorts of stuff right now because they're in a panic. And the most important thing you want to focus on, the most important thing you want to invest in is you, is your mind, is understanding your energy. Because the return on investment on that over a lifetime, you couldn't even put a figure on it. So really think about that. Now he says, stop and think about it. Here's the way it goes. More of the same usually just gives more of the same. Of course, if that's mainly what you're after, fine. Try a little harder, get a little bit of a bigger payoff. Try a lot harder and you can expect a lot better results, right? Well, possibly, but it's definitely not a sure thing. So this is the strategy that most people operate by. I'm just going to do more. I'm just going to get an extra job. Or I'm just going to try harder. And at the end of the day, you burn out. It doesn't work. It says sooner or later, you're going to reach the point where you can't try any harder. It may be that your spirit flags or that your physical and mental resources are stretched to the limit. And often, well before you come to that set of circumstances, you reach the point of diminishing return. Trying harder and harder starts producing less and less. And I can totally relate to this. There were points when I was working, and actually the results were getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I mean, I remember I was no more better off when I was working at a band 5 level as I was to a band 7 level. Yet the work was more responsibility. I was putting in more hours, but I was getting less money at the end of the day. So how does that work? Why is this happening? Well, my mental energy never changed. My belief system, my thought patterns never changed. So I always brought in what I always know I would bring in. And I would probably say you can relate to that. I mean, I love catching people out on this just for a bit of fun. People say, money's not important to me. I just want to have enough. And I go, okay, do you have enough? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I have this and I have that. Okay, good. So you're getting what you're asking for. And it's only after a wee while people start to click on. And that is all you have to do is just think bigger. I mean, it's the exact same, I'm not even teaching anything new. You're already an absolute expert at all of this stuff. You're just attracting stuff that you don't want, potentially. And I'm not saying your life sucks by no stretch of the imagination. In fact, I work with some very, very, very way, way more successful than me. And they're not stuck, but they're financially capped, or they have woken up to the power of them and they realize, here, I could be doing a hell of a lot more. So don't always think you have to have problems. Your awareness is the thing that is going to hold you back. You imagine you took your goals right now and times them by 12. It would probably blow most of your minds. And yet that is as possible as if you kept them where they are. Isn't that an annoying thing to know? So it's our awareness. It's how much it stretches your belief. Like, I times my goal massively in the last month. And you know what? It didn't actually feel that bad. And today, again, I had another conversation with somebody which stretched it a wee bit more. And I felt the pinch. I felt the, oh, right, okay. Yeah, that scares the absolute crap out of me. And that's when I know I'm onto something. Because you're stretching yourself. That's what this is all about. But if you stop stretching yourself and go into the comfort mode, you're gonna love that for a wee while. But that is not feeding your soul. And this is when your spirit can lag, your mentality can lag, your physical energy can lag. Like, that's why I went out and did 10 miles today, because I was starting to feel like just more fatigued because I haven't been out and about as much. So now I'm making that an absolute priority, that I'm really going to work on my fitness while we're in lockdown. Why not? I've got a big back garden. I'm sure there's something I can do. You can all now hold me accountable, which I'm now regretting saying online. So the next part he goes on to say is, let me see. Sometimes, yeah, okay. As a case in point, go back to the fly story. So some of you might remember the fly story at the start of this book, where there was a dead fly on the windowsill, and this guy who wrote the book, Price Pritchard, had watched the little fly try to get out the window, all its energy, frenzy, energy, banging off the window, putting in so much effort, putting in so much energy, but getting nowhere. And all the fly had to do was turn 180 degrees and fly out the door. But the fly had no awareness of that. The fly just kept trying the same thing over and over and over until, unfortunately, it died. So this is why you've got to think about, are you doing anything different than the fly? Now, I'm not trying to put you down, but I'm more than happy to be, the devil's advocate of going, do you know what? You need a bit of a kick. You need to get going, because I understand the potential in you, because we're all the same. So it says, as a case in point, go back to the fly story. The little insect could have turned away from the window 180 degrees and followed a path of least resistance as it flew to an open door. A quantum leap to freedom, 10 seconds of effortless flight would have produced total success, while hours of frustration and panic spent beating its wings against the glass were destined to end fruitlessly in death on the dusty windowsill. So I just want you to step back today, tonight, this weekend, and really look at where you're going. Really look at the vehicle in which you're going to that place. Okay, so first you got to have a destination. If you don't have a goal, if you don't have a destination, you're going to go this way today. Then you might go this way tomorrow. Then you might go that way. Then you might just, well, what's the point? I'm going around in circles. And that took energy to go there. It took energy to go there. It took energy to go there. And this could be, and I'm not saying about leaving your house. I'm saying in your mind. Maybe you're going, Kim, oh, I have goals. I have like 50,000 goals, and my mind's going there and there and there and there. I see that all of the time. In fact, they're the two main things I always see. Either somebody has no foggy notion what they want to do. Usually that's a very academic, left brain, analytical, very planned out process. Or they're a bit like me, and it's like, ooh, shiny object syndrome. Ooh, I like this over here. Ooh, I could do this. Oh my goodness, I lived my whole life like that up until the last 4 years. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but you've got to get it all into order. You've got to have mental order. When you achieve that, you're going places, and you're just going to tick off the goal, tick off the goal, tick off the goals in less time, less effort, and get all the joy and abundance that comes with that. So if you've been spinning plates, I want you to just focus on spinning one plate. Then you get the other plate up and going. Then you get the other plate up and going. And that's how you're going to be successful. I'm a big believer in having multiple plates or multiple streams of income, which we talk about, multiple sources of income. But you can't have multiple until you've got one down. It's just that simple, okay? So it says, now this is not an argument against self-discipline or persistence. Those are true virtues. Over a lifetime, they can make a powerful contribution to success and achievement. So we're not saying that you don't be persistent in your goal. A lot of people can mix these two up. They can think doing more of the same, getting average results, is not being persistent. That's not the meaning of persistence. The meaning of persistence is 4 main key things that Napoleon Hill talked about, certainly in the sense, or Think and Grow Rich. The first thing is you got to have a burning desire. Okay? A burning desire to achieve something, to learn something, to have something, whatever that is. So a burning desire, that's a goal. And when I say a burning desire, it means you want this more than anything. Like, think about maybe your kids. When they've found something on the weekly shop that they want, they're very persistent. They want it, 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 okay? They really want it, and they're not going to give up on it. That's how you want to be with your goal. Now, if you haven't been thinking about your goal, if you haven't been working around all of this to still achieve your goal, if you've set the goal to the side, if you've never thought about goals, then you do not have a burning desire. That is exactly what your soul and heart is craving for. Why? Because it helps you grow and expand as an individual. And that's why we're on this planet. To grow, to give, to love, to be, to have, to do. It's the other way around. It's not do so we can have and then we can be. It's you got to be it first, then you can have it, and then all the rest is easy. Okay? So first thing for a persistence is a burning desire. So ask yourself, have you got a burning desire? Secondly, do you have a plan in order to execute the burning desire? Okay? And then you've also, a part of that plan is you've got to work by the principles that govern success. So ask yourself, do you know those principles? The third point is that you've got to have a mind closed tightly to outside circumstances and conditions that do not serve you in the attainment of your goal. Okay? So do you have your mind closed tightly? Do you actually understand what that means? Now, I could go into a whole other seminar about that because it's talking about the subconscious mind, which is the most important part of your mind, which dictates your behavior, which dictates your outcome. So are you in control of your mind, or do you feel that you get caught up in what is happening? Now, it's okay if you're getting caught up in what's happening. Well, it's not, but what I mean by that is, don't sit there and go, oh, flip, I'm this terrible negative person because, yeah, I got really annoyed about that yesterday. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be aware of it. Don't beat yourself up about it, but realize that is costing you. Not costing the person that annoyed you. It's not costing the government that has maybe, whatever's happened to your business or your life. It is now time that you become responsible for you, your results, your energy. Now that will really piss some people off watching this, because you probably have all the best reasons of why that doesn't apply to you and how it wasn't your fault and you couldn't have seen this happening. And I agree with you. But it doesn't change the science. It doesn't change quantum physics. And we only attract that which we are, not what we want. Okay? This is where you really get into the psychology behind results. And when you can start to understand that, then you're not going to get affected by outside. I haven't got affected. In fact, my business has quantum leaped because I understand how to adapt, how to pivot, how to position myself, how to feel good on the inside out, how to feel good no matter what. Whether it went up or whether it went down, I'm going to be responsible of how I feel. Now, in my opinion, that's true freedom. Money can't buy that. So this is why it's an inside job. It's all about mindset. So it then says they are fundamental to the development of your talent. So persistence and self-discipline are absolutely fundamentals to your development of your talents. It's extremely important to apply yourself diligently, and sometimes staying power is what delivers that big win. I totally agree. So many times I personally have been going after a big goal, and I know this stuff, but there's a difference between knowing and really knowing, okay? And sometimes there's a lot of people go, I know all that stuff. And I go, really? Well, your results do not show me that. And it's not me being cocky. It's not me going, I know better. At the end of the day, your results are a direct reflection to the blueprint that's in your mind. You have like a biocomputer. That's what's controlling your results. So you can't say you know this if you're getting rubbish results. I mean, you'll never get away with that, okay? So it's saying here, you've got to be self-disciplined, you've got to have persistence, and sometimes when the big breakthroughs come, they happen because you've stayed in that place. You've stayed in with, I call it unwavering faith. And so many times, I could sit here for hours and tell you stories. Some of you guys that were on the Science of Getting Rich have heard many of them. And so many times where I've been at that point of absolutely broke. I'm talking about like just emotionally, like I can't do this anymore, and you're holding on for grim death. There's no physical evidence that this is going to happen, but you're believing and you just feel like a little thread that's about to click, and then bang, the doors open. Abundance floods. That I have experienced that at least 3 to 4 times in a huge amount in my life. And I really pride myself on being disciplined and persistent. Like anybody that knows me, any of my team, any of my clients who you're watching, when I have a goal, I'm going to achieve that goal no matter what. Because I understand how. I understand that it is possible. Even though loads of people mightn't think so. Like I love this little quote. Faith is the ability to see the incredible. Faith is the ability to see the incredible, believe. Oh, no, I've forgotten it. Anybody remember that? Faith is the ability to achieve the, no, it's gone. If anybody knows it, type it in. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it just trips me up sometimes. And receive what the masses call impossible. It's something like that. It's an amazing quote. I'll put it in later on. And I absolutely always play that over in my head because I always want to do what everybody thinks is impossible. And that, if you look at anybody who's achieving anything, you'll see that most of the people that are successful are not going the same direction as the masses. Like that's the case. So are you going to be brave enough? Are you going to be big enough? Are you going to be persistent enough? Are you going to be self-disciplined? And if you don't think you can be, then the only problem there is that your goal is not big enough. Because if you really, really were going after something you truly want more than anything in the world, you wouldn't give up. So most of the time people give up because their goals are not big enough. It's easy. The first hurdle comes, it's easy just to, that wasn't for me. And we give all great rationales. But if you're sitting there wanting a quantum leap, if you're sitting there looking to totally transform your life and come out of this in a way where you just explode, then you've got to be willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do. You got to be willing to go against the status quo. You got to be willing for friends and family to think you're absolutely nuts. You got to be willing to do that. And if you're not willing to do that, well then fine, don't do it. Stay with what you have. Now how does that feel? Now if anybody felt a little bit of no, I don't like that option, then make a move. Listen, use your intuition, feel it. Oh, thank you so much, Joanne. Faith is the ability to see the invisible, believe in the incredible, which enables us to receive what the masses call impossible. Yours is slightly different, but that last part is what, there you go. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Joanne. I really appreciate that. It's a great quote. So, bringing this into an end, it says, but ordinarily you will find that trying harder produces only incremental gains, not quantum leaps. Also keep in mind that trying harder, even a lot harder, sometimes offers little more than a straight path to burnout. Attempting to succeed through more of the same. Being resolute and relying on committed effort can blind you to better pathways. If you want to make a quantum leap, quit thinking about trying harder. More effort isn't the answer. Now, isn't that a lovely thing to think about? Putting more effort in isn't the answer. And yet you may be super conditioned to believing that it is. Because that's maybe what you seen mum and dad do when you were growing up. That's maybe what you seen other family members do. That's maybe, I was brought up in a wonderful home, but it was a family business. And for any of you that have family businesses, I'm sure it was very like my home, where it was just, when does it start? When does it end? It all just kind of happens all the time. And that's what I seen growing up. Work, 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 work. I seen great results. So then, of course, I thought, you got to do all of that to get that. Okay, well, I like that. So I'll maybe be prepared to do that. No, I'm not prepared to do that. And now I'm getting results that just would blow people's minds. And yet I'm doing less. And I only have really learned that lesson since October last year, when I went through a huge quantum leap and quantum shift in my own thinking and my own awareness. And I have been working way less than I've ever worked in my entire life. But my business has 3 times itself in just the last couple of months. I am blowing up, and yet I'm doing less. So this isn't about effort. It isn't about trying harder. And what I often see is people get really put off going for their goals, going after something, because it almost feels tiring before they've even started. Why? Because when you think about doing something else, your mind goes, let me just bring up all the facts that I know about starting something new. And if your belief system is it's hard, it's difficult, it takes money, it takes time, you're not committed, you procrastinate. If that's what this little person is bringing up to your mind, what are you likely to do? Nothing. So that's not fair. That is hijacking you. What if you believed it could be easy? What if you believed it could be effortless? What if you could believe that you didn't need all of that knowledge that you think you need? What if you believed that money was everywhere and it's super easy to get your hands on? What if you believed that? Guess what? It would happen. Now that seems so crazy, so illogical, so outside the box. And that's why 3% of the population earn 96% of all the money in the world. Because not that many people are prepared to start thinking in that way. But the people that decide that they're going to give it a try, that they're going to just go, do you know what? I am burning the boats, I'm burning the bridges, I'm going. They're the ones that make it every time. And if you're sitting there thinking, you have a story, you have a past, you're in a crisis, I absolutely beg you to go and take that leap of faith on you. Because personally, anybody that I've ever met that has been super successful, I'm talking 7, 8 figures, they all have went through a really difficult time in many different reasons. And that's where I'm saying it's that stickability, it's that persistence, it's that burning desire where you're not going to give up that always gets you through. The tide will always turn. But you could be like 3 foot from gold and you could just go, no, I've been trying really hard. I can't see anything. We're so obsessed with, I need to see it. I need to taste it. I need to touch it. I need something to fulfill me with my senses. And that's where we get blocked. And I think the key line here was, when you try to do more of the same, it can blind you from better pathways. Like you could be that wee hamster in a hamster wheel, going so fast, staying so focused, I'm not going to fall off the wheel, I'm not going to fall off the wheel, I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going, that you could literally miss the way of how it could just happen like that. Like you could be burying your head in so much work, in so much worry, in so much doubt, in so much fear that you're totally blindsided from all the opportunities that are right in front of you right now. And that's what excites me and you know, why I want to help people. Because I do not want to see anybody fall into that trap. And yet, we know that a lot of people do. So, hope this has been of some value for you this evening. Got very deep, very serious on a Friday night. But hey, it's me. That's what happens. But I really, you know, now that we've been, you know, on lockdown and you've been maybe doing life differently for, I don't even know how long it's been. It's definitely over 2 months. Can you now start to see, how did I keep that going? Like I've spoke to so many people and they've went, you know what, Kim, I don't even know how I was existing. I don't know how I hadn't fallen apart. I don't know how I hadn't, you know, broke down my marriage or whatever. Because it's only now that you get to sit back and go, what was I playing at? Now, that's great, but you gotta have a plan. What are you gonna do to get out of it? How are you gonna adapt? How are you gonna change? I'm not saying your whole business has to change, but the way you do business certainly has to change, without a doubt. And that means you've got to be creatively thinking. And the only way to tap into creative ways of thinking and think like the 1% and have that attitude is you've got to change your mindset. Nothing else will change until you change the root cause of all results. Don't be treating symptoms. That's temporary. Don't be changing behaviors. That's temporary. And you'll burn out trying to do it and keep up with it. Get to the root cause. That's in the subconscious mind. Now, if tonight has a bit of help to you, I'm grateful. There's loads of other sessions on here. I'll be back next week. We'll be back on Monday as normal to do the next session. But think very carefully about what is your next move. What have I said tonight that maybe can help you just move that dial just a little bit? Now, I want to encourage you, if you're interested in booking a call with us to get clear on your goals and just build out that vision, book a call. The link is here. Like even just one phone call could completely give you the clarity and direction that you need, whether you come and work with us or whether you don't. The girls have been on the phone all week helping people, and I'm unbelievably proud of my clients because the success, the attitude, the feeling, the energy is just unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like it. Bob gave me a wee phone call last night to just say, Kim, what the hell are you doing in Northern Ireland, because you're blowing things up. And I was just going, you know what, Bob? It's not me. The energy with my clients is like I've never seen it before. Like, I can honestly say that. And I really am so proud of each and every one of you that have made that decision to join us and to join the TIR family and get involved, because I already can see all the changes from just a week in, 2 weeks in, never mind when you're 6 months down the line. So if you're sitting there tonight and maybe you don't even know what I do, I don't have time to explain that. And to be honest, I hate trying to explain what I do. It's like them things where you go, how long have you got? Because it's definitely not an elevator pitch. But if you're sitting and you want clarity, you want to create a roadmap to how you can achieve something, if you just want support, if you want to make a move, please book yourself in a call. Now, let me be very clear. It's not just a call to get a wee bit of a therapy session, okay? It is a call if you're serious about, I want more out of my life. Now, you don't need to know what that is, because a lot of people don't. But if there's something inside of you that just feels like, there's something else, there's something inside me, then just book a call. Just do yourself that one favor. I don't know where it'll lead. You don't know where it'll lead. But if you're feeling that, then that's definitely the next step, because I know without a doubt we can give you clarity on what the next step is, or options. And that's better than staying stuck, doing the same thing over and over and over again. All right? So have a wonderful Friday evening, wonderful weekend. And I will be back on Monday, and we'll be back doing lesson or episode 6. All right, so book your call. Let's chat over the weekend and have a wonderful, wonderful time, whatever you get up to. Stay safe, stay home, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.